7 months to be 7 months to be in the management side of things, and then a year to run my first business. I was running an office in Columbus, Ohio, with AT&T Small Business. We sold internet services to small businesses. We help people go from dial-up to DSL, which is kind of crazy. You probably don't even know what dial-up is, but and maybe you don't even know what DSL is. But after a year or two running an office there, I started opening offices. Michael just said, "Hey, if you like the opportunity, share it with other people." Moved to Atlanta, launched a residential part of my organization, doing door-to-door. Same thing, AT&T in Bell South. Moved to LA. That's where I got to know, the Sebastian org in general, and in 2009, and then moved to Michigan in 2013. So 2018, 2019, like Heshan said, I jumped onto retail and what we do. And right before 2019, end of 2019, early 2020, AT&T came to us as an organization and said, "Hey, we have this idea of selling cell phones in retailers." And Target never in the history of their company has allowed an outside company to be inside of their stores. We have a guest experience that we have to maintain. So the idea of doing sales in there was like foreign to their whole organization. So we had to figure out how to be in the store, be productive, be customer servicey, but salesy, and still hit the numbers that AT&T want us to hit. Unbeknownst to us, the pandemic was coming 2 weeks later. And literally we have 4 or 5 guys. There's a couple guys now that run offices that were on that team. Sanjay being one of them, who's one of our newer owners, who just had a $5,000 profit in his like 8th week of business, by the way. Nice. And Sanjay and a few others were, in the store. And if you guys remember, they were clicking people in and out of the store, like one person every hour kind of thing. And he and a few others, the guy Jason in the office too, made still $1,000 to $2,000 a week in commissions and bonuses, in a really tough set of foot traffic. But as far as the business goes, AT&T, the reason why this worked, we had history with them, right? We already sold internet and TV in other retailers. The partners on their side of things, the people in charge of making decisions financially and product wise, were the same people that were going to help us on the Target program or the EDM program. Now, they said to us, this is a wireless-based program. Now, you can rehash internet, you can rehash TV, but the only way you're not going to take advantage of this whole opportunity is if you don't lead with wireless and you don't set the pace on wireless. Wireless is our future. Internet obviously is very important with fiber, and then the TV portion is kind of third. But we had to figure out, again, the pitch. And I did have actually experience. I tested some things with T-Mobile in the past, business to business, but never in the retail space. And so I took some of the things I knew from T-Mobile, brought it over to this program, and that's kind of how we got the program off the ground. So, but yeah, it's a wireless-based program. The pillars of the program, we got to obviously always be on top of the guest experience, make sure guests in the store feel supported, they feel taken care of. Number 2, we have to perform in the wireless space, and we have to bring the revenue per store. We actually, I don't know if you know this or not, or Sean, you share this, but I'm held to a number on a national basis, wireless wise. Each local market is held to numbers based on how many stores they have and how many wireless lines come out of the stores to maintain them, to not have to, there's other competitors are starting to pop up in the space that want to take some of our stores. And then the third piece is the AND sales. So when we do wireless, we sell fiber internet. 30% is the minimum, but we're looking to push the program to over 40% of the time. When you're in your tablet and you see wireless and you're selling it, and then you see fiber available, we get to attach that fiber. We have a little saying, fiber every time in the office, but we get to attach that fiber. And now we're working on the TV piece and getting everybody to at least 1 or 2 TV sales per week per rep. So as we start to do those things, we're going to gain more and more opportunities, which we got one pretty cool starting today, which is, I think, why you wanted me to join.
Got it. Ken, let's go backtrack. Like, I mean, how did you start the opportunity? Like, does it look like opportunity, or did it look like a challenge for you?
So I'll tell you, my attitude when this thing started was, I said to our Lex, who's on our business development team and our client side and our support side, I said to him, I said, Lex, I only know one way to play this game. And if you want me to help lead this thing, then I'm going to go in the field and set the pace myself, set the tone myself, and then I'm going to teach everybody else. He's like, great. I was like, but the only thing is there's going to be things that we're going to have to change if they don't work for the field. And so for 6 months straight, I personally went in the field. I had 22 owners in my team at this point. And my org was doing 200,000 a week in production. And I decided to go in the field. I told my wife, I know we have 2 boys at home. I said, honey, this is going to be massive and I need to figure this out. And I personally went in the field and set the pace, made over $1,000 a week in commissions myself. And then I taught other people in our office to do it. And people like Sanjay and Jason, these guys are the core of the guys. I don't have to remind them, but they know that I'm their leader, like by training them myself. And there's things that we had to figure out together. And Jason was over at the house last night. We were laughing about, he goes, I remember the day, our first 3 days, and you're like, we were figuring out the pitch. And he's like, I remember, we were trying to get them stopped and tell them everything up front, as opposed to saying, hi, how are you? Like it was so basic of what we were doing that you guys probably think, oh, it's, hey, how are you? We're doing exclusive promotions. I remember the day that we didn't use exclusive, the word, and we took out the word exclusive in the pitch and what changed. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, but yeah, I only know how to play the game one way, Heshan, and that's by kind of setting the tone myself.
That's crazy, man. That shit pumps me up more than anything else. It's like, it's not just running an ICL, it's just not running a promoting deal. It's just like, you get to the level where like, I mean, you definitely have enough and more money to, to take care of your kids and everything. On top of that, you just, try and challenge like new things, and you move the needle and create the opportunity for like so many of us. My next area is the story. What kind of a story that you go into when you're facing these challenges? Like, because in my eyes, it's a challenge. Maybe it's not for you, but I want to know what kind of a story that you usually walk into, because that's a bigger challenge than a new guy here going to a store and trying to change the story in a store. But they have to get to a point where in entrepreneurship that you always have to have some great stories going in. Otherwise, you're not going to win.
Yeah, great. So I think there's here's a little gem for you. There's a difference between knowing and doing. There's a gap between the two. Knowing what you have to do, we all know. And listen, we're smart people. We're really, really smart people. We know what we have to do. We know what we have to do to succeed if we want to be healthy. We know what we have to do to succeed in our relationships. We know what we have to do, how to succeed in the work we do. And in this, it's not that hard to figure out after a couple weeks. But the difference between knowing and doing, that gap, is all mental. And so Heshan, I remember when we were opening offices. So February, obviously the world fell apart. We stayed the course. We were still in the stores during the pandemic. There was obviously 5 stores. One of the few face-to-face sales organizations in the world that were open at that time, because a lot of others closed down. And we, when we started opening offices, week after week, there's people coming here to train to Detroit and everything else and doing their thing. And I personally took one of the owners in the field to train them. And we're in the store, and this guy's been in our business 6 or 7 years. And he makes a comment to me. And we were just kind of talking and whatever. And I don't know what came up or why he said it, but he made the comment. He goes, oh man, I just don't want to be in the field anymore or that much longer. And I looked at him and I said, what did you just say? He's like, oh, I just want to get my office rocking. And so I don't have to be in the field anymore. And I reached over and I grabbed his tablet and I took it away from him. I said, hey, bro, you probably want to quit. He's like, what? And this guy runs his own business and everything else and is in our organization. I'm like, yeah, you're probably going to want to quit. He's like, what? I was like, yo, just so we're on the same page. You just told someone who's 20 years into the business, who has an organization that's doing decent, that you're not willing to do the work. And if you're not willing to do the work, don't worry about taking care of people, because you're not going to take care of anybody. And so 20 years in, I was like, the issue is it's not the work. The issue is you don't get it. You don't get why you're doing what you're doing right now to translate to where it's going to go. I get it. I look at this thing, and when we started this thing, We knew it was going to be $100 million business. We knew the trends were there. The client was there. The support was there. The products are there. Wireless stays new every year. There's always an iPhone coming out. There's always new Samsung. This is like cutting edge technology. And being successful is, some people say, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, you're so lucky. No, being successful and creating luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? So there's an opportunity that we had that trends were telling us that would be pretty good. And we just got really prepared and got the right people and the right organization to do the work. And so, and it's funny, and I gave him his tablet back and he, you know, whatever. I was like, listen, this opportunity is going to change. I mean, I've done well in business, but this opportunity in particular, EDM with all these offices and all this expansion we could have, is going to change everything. It's going to raise the bar tenfold for what we're doing right now. And frankly, my business has doubled and tripled since we've done it. So it's very, very interesting. But it all comes back to that knowing and doing, right? I knew I needed to get out and set the tone and understand it. And then doing it, you know, I just connected the why. And to me, I have 2 boys. My number 1 goal is to be a great dad and a great husband. My number 2 goal is to be pretty good in business so I can take care of number 1 and number 2, right? Like take care of my guys. Like, I mean, for the guys that may not have kids, I mean, they're freaking expensive. I bought a $70 pair of Adidas shoes for my 9-year-old yesterday. Like, that shit is not cheap.
That's fucking crazy, man. I'm gonna go to our last session because we got like 5 minutes left before we get into our bell party. I want to know, I mean, the reason I called you yesterday because is that an AT&T flask?
Oh yeah. They send me all this stuff, not like.
I wish I
just
got you. Anyways, I'll text you my address. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know. Yeah, it's water bottle. I'm doing 75 hard right now. I don't know if you guys know what 75 hard is.
75.
Yeah. So I created my own for my kind of community I built in the fitness world.
Yeah.
And so part of it's drinking a gallon of water every day. So
75
like
challenge is good, but you got to stay away from long trips because you got to take a piss all the fucking like every 20 minutes.
You do. You pee a lot.
Okay, bring me to my last point. I'm going to ask you one question. Where do you guys start with commissions when you start the pilot?
So for wireless lines, $50 a line.
Just flat 50.
$50. No,
internet,
no extra.
The same commission.
Internet was $45 in internet.
Whew. We are talking about like 2 years growth. That's fucking insane. All right, so this brings to my last area, the strategies. The reason I called you yesterday, this is the whole reason. Yeah, your strategies are so good. The reason why you come into our course and talk about it, and it's not about just talking. I see the numbers of your office changing every time you talk about a new strategy. And you are a really good strategist. You come with competitions, you come with different things. You do a lot of road trips to figure out like which areas. Let's say not at the ownership level, like let's say at a leadership level or entry level. Like, what are the basic areas you can give them? Like, hey, this is a real one good way to like strategize. Like, basically play chess, not checkers.
Yeah. So in my opinion, the perfect rep, if you want to be a perfect rep on this campaign, it's 15 lines, new and port, 3 internets, and 3 TVs. Because you're going to be able to come through for the client and their needs with wireless lines. And then you're also going to be able to get the fiber internet when it's available, and the TV side of things. So you're able to have 3 product lines, and so you have one customer can have 3 opportunities. So if you see 50 customers, you have 150 opportunities. You see 100 customers, you have 300 opportunities, right? But the key is setting the tone on wireless so we can get more stores and more opportunity and grow this thing. We're close to 600 stores right now, all over the U.S., including multiple retailers. Right, started in Target. We now have some wireless cell phone opportunities in Walmart. We've launched some Sam's Clubs. We I just went out to Sacramento 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I trained. I don't know if Daryl and Coach told you, Heshan.
They're crushing it right now.
I took them in the field personally, and I said, "Hey, do you guys know why I'm here?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "Because I'm taking you out tomorrow for a full day in the field. I'm taking you in the field on Sunday, and I'm going to make sure you guys know how to do this. Because the better you do, the better your guys are going to do." They're like, "You're taking me in the field?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not here just to fucking hang out. Let's go." And I did $500 on Saturday and $400 on Sunday, myself, my own code. So, you know, it's you got to set the tone a little bit. Yeah, but you set the tone on wireless, and then internet and TV is a rehash.
Just letting you know, New Orleans is not that far away from you.
We could set
some goals. Throw it out there. Okay, now we're gonna jump in, start fucking hard. I know my guys had to do 30 new lines to earn this, but definitely we didn't do 30 new lines yesterday. But I hopefully have some good news for them before we get out there. Let's see. But guys, let's say thank you for Ken. We definitely want you for a bigger call. We definitely want to go have you a bigger call, at least, because I think the information that you have is not enough. I think we definitely should plan like a 45 minutes call. But this is what I want you from Ken. Next 2 weeks, I would love for one of my high rollers with new lines to have a one-on-one chat with you. I know this is like I'm asking you on the spot, but if you can schedule that next 2 weeks a time,
yeah,
and let me know so they can have like a good one-on-one times with you over the Zoom.
So listen, why don't we do this? Why don't we set some goals and you know, over the next 2 to 4 weeks, like the high roller with wireless, we'll just get them to come to Detroit for a week.
Come to Detroit for a week?
Yeah, come hang out in the office, you know, see the office here and travel. I know we got Dallas coming up in 4 weeks, but we'll have to figure out timing or whatever, but why don't we do something like that? And then for sure, I'll do a one-on-one for sure, but a trip is cool too.
Oh, I'm speechless. Let's fucking do. Let's fucking go. Let's do it.
Cool.
I'm down.
So,
okay,
but listen,
thank you so much for joining in, bro.
But listen, we gotta, you know, 10 lines is the minimum per rep, right? So we gotta see a lift with how many people are doing 10 lines a week in your office. So I'm gonna look at this past week, see how many people did 10 lines in your office, and then as long as we see a lift, so let's say 5 people did 10 lines, as long as we see 6 or more people do 10 plus lines, then we'll do something like that and a high roller kind of thing. We'll figure it out.
Cool. I love it. Cool. Thank you so much, right, Ken. You have a great week.
Last thing. Remember this. 98, there's a study recently done. 98% of people undervalue themselves. Don't undervalue yourself. Believe you can do whatever you put your mind to. The most important conversation you're going to have is the one you have with yourself. So let's get out and crush your goals.
Thank you, bro.
Yep. See you guys.